But if MJF finished the promo by saying, tonight in this shithole, and they were being liberal on the language again, I wonder if it's just when it depends on who's on the button. But tonight in this shithole, everybody dies, including the ratings, because here came Lance Archer. And I like Lance Archer, but he is a guy who's never won a big match in AEW. He hadn't been on TV in ages. And it's just, he comes out to do a job. But basically, he came out to do the job by kicking the shit out of Will Ospreay from the start. Opened with a choke slam, foiled his dive, slammed him on the floor, ragdolled him. They went to the break, they came back, he was still kicking the shit out of him. And Ospreay would do a flip every once in a while or a kick and get cut off again. And finally, Archer went for a choke slam off the top rope, and Ospreay did the Spanish fly, which makes no sense. They're both just taking a goddamn dive off the top rope. But Ospreay hit him with a Spanish fly off the top rope, 2 count. Cody Cutter, 2 count. Then Archer just came back with a clothesline and got a 2 count. And I'm right, seriously? Ospreay with a DDT and hit his back elbow finish. It didn't look good, but it really never does. And Archer kicked out at 1. And then Ospreay just hits another elbow. 1, 2, 3. When did Steve Austin stunner a guy, cover him, he kick out at 1, and he give him another stunner and beat him 1, 2, 3? When did that happen?
It never happened. And the other thing is, like, you'll get a big pop for the finish no matter what it is, but there are multiple times we've seen it, and this was another example where what should have been the finish, and the fans were ready for it to be the finish, wasn't the finish, and then you just hit with another finish, and the pop isn't the same.
You know what the indie guys will say? Well, we're crossing them up. They don't expect that. Well, no shit, because it doesn't make any sense. And besides that, get it right. That used to be the Booker's instruction to the main event guys. Get it right, go home. I mean, if whatever time when you got the people in it, it was right, it was ready to go home, do your finish, and you're done. And they cannot get it right when the people are really ready to blow and they've seen wow, what a 1, 2, and then later on, small package. Yay. What the fuck? But anyway, after Ospreay unsurprisingly defeated Lance Archer, then MJF jumped in and grabbed Ospreay and gave him a brain buster. And then he put on his ring and drew back, and Kyle Fletcher hit the ring. And this time, not the ring on MJF's hand, but came into the squared circle and ran MJF again. So now MJF has run from Ospreay. Now he's running from Fletcher. And this began another long interview segment. And again, also, did you see what Mr. Fletcher was wearing?
I don't recall offhand, but I saw it obviously because I watched it.
Well, he's trying to get personality.
Personality?
Instead of being as bland as he was, he had dress shoes with no socks, really tight jeans, a midriff-bearing T-shirt. And so he's apparently adopting the personality of an effete douchebag. It looked with the fucking white hair. I don't know what's going on here, but now he's cutting a fucking promo on MJF. And then Don Callis gets in the ring. You know, the top heel manager that never manages anymore, that has a group of people that he never corners and we never see him with, but he comes out in interview segments when they want to do something that doesn't have anything to do with his group or when they want out of it. Remember, Ospreay said, "Hey, Don, I'd like to get out of the group." Okay. Well, now Fletcher tells Don Callis that Ospreay is his best friend and he needs help. And Fletcher says asshole, and they censor it 10 seconds later, or tried to, but they missed it. Hey, so now, go ahead.
Well, what do you think about that? The fact that Babyface needs help against one person?
Well, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out who the fucking heels are in Callis's fucking deal. because Callis is the nicest heel manager I've ever seen all of a sudden. And so now another member of Callis's heel group is a babyface telling him that another one of the babyfaces needs help against MJF because he's a big bully, I guess. And then Kyle starts doing a promo like he's a badass. And they're in South Carolina. People are farting because he looks like a fucking tampon. He's not goddamn, Bruiser Brody. And again, Kyle was trying with the aggression and the animation and the emotion and everything, and it was better than Ospreay because his accent is not so thick you can understand the words coming out of his mouth. But it wasn't earth-shattering because it's Kyle Fletcher and nobody gives a shit. And the people are kind of, eh. And then they did build it up where Kyle wanted MJF right now, and MJF started milking it and taking his shirt off and taking his watch off or whatever, and then said no, and people were up. He said, next week on TV. All right. So why does Don Callis never manage the guys in his group? He just comes out to let them out of their commitments. Well, what did you think of this whole parade of infamy here?
Where does the parade start exactly for this?
Well, the MJF and Marble Mouth Ospreay and the match with Lance Archer, where Ospreay proved the new multi-million-dollar acquisition proved that it takes everything that he can possibly do to beat a guy that we never see that never wins a big match.
I thought MJF was good. I think Ospreay's energy is good, but he goes on too long. He's someone, whether in the ring at times, but certainly on the mic, you should give people less. Because if you get something less and it's really good, you don't get to that point a few minutes in where you're like, all right, he's still going. I'm not as enthusiastic for him as I was a few minutes ago. With Fletcher, I've been impressed by him in the ring lately. With that said, his look is ridiculous. He's part of the heel stable in the middle of whatever drama thing is going to happen with him and Ospreay. And I think my biggest problem is MJF, once again, seemingly being used to elevate someone or try to elevate someone. And I think while that's the role of a veteran in a wrestling company, and MJF at this point is the veteran of AEW, I think MJF should be working with top guys. And I know AEW has a top guy problem. Ospreay for them right now is a top guy. But whether it's Daniel Garcia or Fletcher right now, the way he's been used, I've never seen him win ever.
Ever.
That's my biggest issue booking wise, big picture, as I hate MJF running from another low card babyface / question mark / heel, who knows, that isn't even over with their audience. He should only be running from people that are over right now, not from people that people don't know. No one knows. He's been on their show, but does the audience know who Kyle Fletcher is?
But if MJF was only running from people that are over, he wouldn't get very much exercise in that company.
That's a bigger problem, and that's a different problem, and it doesn't mean that's the problem. They keep using MJF because of that, because there aren't main eventers for him to work with. He keeps being used to elevate other people.
Here, let's let you work with MJF so that he can cut the promo for you and tell people why that you're something.
Sometimes they cut to MJF on the stage, like while the other guy's talking, and you could tell the guy's just talking gibberish, and MJF, you could read his mind. You could just tell he's like, the fuck is this guy saying right now?
What the hell? Jesus Christ.
How am I going to talk around this? But look, that's whatever we want to say about it. It's the highlight of AEW TV right now. The stuff with MJF, we can nitpick and pick it apart, and with Ospreay, but it's the best thing on AEW right now. It has the most energy of anything in AEW right now. That's not saying much, but it's the highlight of the show, isn't it?
Now here's the problem. Ospreay's got to win at Wembley Stadium or they'll set the seats on fire. So did they agree to do this, just a quick, you win one and then I'll win one, because Tony had fucked up his timing and his preparation for Ospreay to be able to win something else big like the world title at Wembley. So, but they can't have a third match right now because neither one of those guys needs to lose twice to the other guy right now. So they're going to have to leave it at 1-1 and then milk a rematch potentially for way farther on down the line. At which point Tony will probably have booked that into irrelevancy. But you see what I'm saying? Ospreay can't lose twice to MJF this early in his run, and MJF, having just switched, can't lose twice to Ospreay.
Is Ospreay in storyline reasonably mad enough, do you think, to whip out the Tiger Driver 91 at Wembley, or is that
good God.
Is it too early for that? And by the way, they keep talking about it. They throw out that name, Excalibur, who's so awful as a commentator. Tiger Driver 91! No one knows what it is. That's the thing. If you traded tapes in the 90s and were watching All Japan, you know what it is. It's never really been established in the U.S. on national TV. They should, if they're going to do this, why aren't there videos explaining it, showing it, talking about why it's devastating?
Talking about why do you call it a Tiger Driver and why is there a number to it?
Yeah, and why is he afraid? What is he afraid of doing it for? What is the reason?
Well, no, they explained that one week, and that, he hurt the other guy, so he don't want to hurt anybody again. They explained it one week, and then...
Where's the video?
But yeah, and again, Tiger Driver, it's like the Michinoku Driver and the this and that are named after people that especially this audience doesn't know from 30 years ago. Because many of them weren't born then. And they could easily...
Mr. Pile Driver. Mr. Pile is upset about what's happened to Pile Driver. Everyone's using Driver for something.
They could easily give it its own name that guy does. The Stone Cold Stunner, right? Everybody's using it, but it's not the Stone Cold Stunner unless Steve Austin uses it. Don't have the guy steal a fucking finish from a Japanese wrestler that nobody saw from 30 years ago, that nobody's seen in this fucking day and age and environment. Make it a new name that only this guy does, and then get that fucking holdover, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But you asked me the question about the Tiger Driver, I would have him come out and say, you know what, fuck the Tiger Driver. Fuck his fucking neck. I'm going to break his neck. I'm going to Tiger Driver twice. He's fucking stole my title belt. He fucking hit me in the head with a goddamn souped up diamond brass knuckle. I'm going to drop him on his head and laugh about it. Right in my own hometown in London and home country, wherever the fuck he's from, Wembley. Because MJF deserves it.
We have good health care, bruv.
Yeah, he can say that. We've got good health care. Unlike in your country, we've got good health care, and you're going to need it.
Well, see, that's the problem, though.
That's the thing is you can't have a babyface be a big pussy. I don't want to hurt him. Fuck, he hurts you. He's a heel, you fucking dipshit. That's why normal wrestling fans and grown adult men think these guys are all fucking pussies because they whine about their dreams and who was their friend, and they don't want to hurt nobody. Then become a goddamn ad salesman then if you don't want to hurt anybody.
Well, that's the other problem, too. MJF's now like Mr. Patriot. Ospreay can't be like, yo, fuck America. I'm from England. Instead, he has to be like, I love you. I love the people who love flags, too, or whatever he said.
Are you sure he said flags? His accent was...
He said, will you stop it? Will you behave yourself?
All right.
Well, that was the opening segment and the Lance Archer match. Jake Roberts did not make his way out to the ring. We heard they re-signed him, and then we never saw him again.
That's right. What the fuck is it? He's on the goddamn retirement plan with Tony?
It's a nice plan from what I understand, but that was segment 1 into segment 2 of...
Yes. Well,